Greetings, my lords and ladies. This is the Allosaurus of Reptilian Reflections. How are you? I'm good. Now, are you interested in the ATARI VCS? This interesting little project that has officially started its Indiegogo startup launch page, as it were, as of the beginning of this month. Well, if you've been following any of the news on this interesting little beast, it's been rather drama focused, thanks to a lot of YouTubers, gaming YouTubers who are, frankly, they're acting like man babies, irresponsible and just nasty. I'm not surprised they've gotten the hate, as it were, from Atari in many ways, and I don't want to make a video specifically talking about them. And if you notice, what you're watching is probably something completely unrelated to Atari and the VCS and maybe even gaming, because I'm going to read the press release for the brand new news of the Atari VCS that has just popped up today. Glad to see it. And so I basically want you to listen to my melodious, beautiful voice. And I thought I'd give something funny and weird to watch. So, and basically, to just wrap that up a bit, as I was talking about before, was that there is all this incredible drama. People are freaking out about them. They're giving non-stop hate on the Atari. People are commenting with hate because these YouTubers, they have a huge reach. They've got thousands and thousands of subscribers and commentators, and they take their word as gospel. They've got disciples, that many disciples, who regurgitate exactly what they say and attack anyone for having any interest in the Atari VCS simply because they can't understand why. Well, I'm sorry you're so normal and bereft of imagination or of a mind that you can't understand, but I'm not, and you're all acting like Muppets in a bad way. I'm a Muppet in a good way. And so I've been hoping and giving them the benefit of the doubt and waiting for some information to drop, and lo and behold, it has dropped. I was hoping and thinking that it would drop once this 1 month campaign ends in a few days, but they've actually decided to release it a few days before that. And basically, the big news is that they are announcing a new member of their team. His name is Rob Wyatt. He's a system architect of the original Xbox and designer on the graphics architecture of the PlayStation 3 and other systems. And Rob is very excited for this project. He's been helping them behind the scenes for months, and he's an official team member. That's basically what this press release is all about. So he's from some company called Tin Giant, I think it is. And I'm going to read this press release. So sit back, get a pop or whatever, or hookah, and listen to my beautiful voice. Atari for immediate release. Atari VCS team officially welcomes Rob Wyatt, system architect of original Xbox console and innovator of notable game hardware and graphics projects. New York State, June 26, 2018. Atari, one of the world's most iconic consumer brands and interactive entertainment producers, today announced that game platform architecture expert Rob Wyatt and his Boulder, Colorado-based company Tin Giant are officially joining the Atari VCS team. Wyatt, an expert in GPU hardware and 3D graphics, has worked on everything from hardware design to graphic applications for a variety of well-known game systems and software platforms. While at Microsoft, Wyatt held roles on the development team on DirectX and the Windows kernel before becoming the system architect of the original Xbox game console. Wyatt later contributed to the graphic systems of the PlayStation 3 before moving on to become the graphics architect at Magic Leap, an augmented reality startup. Along the way, he has also lent his expertise to many AAA video games and high-end movie special effects. Pardon me there. The Atari VCS is a completely new connected gaming and entertainment device slated to begin shipping in mid-2019. Atari has partnered with chipmaker AMD, who will provide the Atari VCS custom processor featuring Radeon graphics technology. The operating system of the Atari VCS is based on Linux, and the platform's highly anticipated open sandbox will allow users to create and port additional content to personalize their experience. We have made a commitment to Atari fans to make the VCS the very best game and home entertainment platform it can be, said Michael Otts, Atari COO of Connected Devices. After months of working with Roby of Tin Giant to define product requirements for the Atari VCS, hardware and operating systems, we are excited to finally and officially announce our partnership. Rob and his experienced team are working to squeeze every possible ounce of performance out of the Atari VCS hardware. Who wouldn't want to be part of the bringing Atari back? From the moment the AMD team introduced me to Atari and the VCS project, I have been intrigued and inspired by the opportunity that it represents, said Rob Wyatt, CEO of Tin Giant. The unique open platform and modern approach that Atari is taking will let users enjoy a broad range of new and existing games and other entertainment, while also delivering some unique options to customize the platform to their own taste by combining additional software and classic content all in one place. Retro-inspired, but not a retro box. Very important there. The Atari VCS will deliver a fully modern gaming and entertainment experience sure to delight the more than 11,000 backers who have enthusiastically supported the Atari VCS so far during its ongoing Indiegogo pre-sale, currently scheduled to end on June 29, 2018. Indiegogo backers and other future Atari VCS owners can plan to have access to a wide array of games, media, and streaming content options when the hardware platform ships in mid-2019. Atari plans to make several more product development updates and announcements, along with new partnerships and agreements between now and the first shipments that will include game publishers and developers, product distribution plans, non-gaming content providers, and much more. In addition, Atari endeavors to provide unscheduled work in progress product demonstrations in the future as they become practical. Fans can follow Atari VCS on Facebook, Twitter at the Atari VCS, and Instagram. Okay, so back to just being the Echosaurus. I hope you enjoyed that. Let's talk a bit about it, shall we? So, I'd say that makes me fairly happy with this project so far. Many are constantly calling this a scam and a fake and any other kind of tiresome little thing. I don't think it is. This Wyatt, he sounds like the real deal, and like he helped create the first Xbox and PlayStation 3. This guy's got proper experience in this pause. And it's so funny to me why people are being so negative and horrible to this. As for why someone would want this system, many people say, I don't even know what it could do. Where could it possibly go in the ecosystem? Well, I'll just tell you my personal points. Being the unique, half-Japanese, mutant, legally blind, tattooed Canadian that I am, I don't tend to fit into normal parameters. And for me, I'm legally blind, and so something that has a focus on voice commands, yes, I'm very happy about that. I'm not ragingly rich, so having a system that doesn't suck tons of energy out of my damn electric bills, that's a positive. This is also 4K HDR ready, a machine as well. It's aiming to be about Nintendo Switch power, they said, or a little more. And they aren't trying to compete with the bloody Xbox and PlayStation, all right? The main games they want to play are Atari games, remaster Atari games that I'm really interested in, and indie games, the other thing I'm really interested in. Give me Ori and the Will of the Wisps over any so-called AAA game any day of the frickin' week, baby. Night in the Woods, one of the most brilliant games ever created known to mankind, in my opinion. And if you don't agree with that, fine, great, you're part of the majority, wonderful. I don't care. So for me, this is a great purchase. It's a little cheaper than the Nintendo Switch, more powerful than the Nintendo Switch. You know, the Switch had zero extras to it when it launched, yet everyone was giving them a pass. Over a year later, it still has the most basic things that come with a video game system. Nintendo still doesn't have. And people make excuses non-stop with that. Nintendo's made this ridiculous phone system to communicate to others. Again, they're getting mostly a pass with that kind of thing. Before the Switch was even announced officially, nobody had any idea about it. It was people like for almost 2 years were constantly going, what is this Nintendo NX? Who knows? They kept poring over all the most ridiculous rumors, this, that, and this, that. No one had any hard facts of it. No one had a playable demo. No one had a working prototype of it. Nothing like that. And yes, Nintendo was a proven player in the biz, but Atari was too. And, you know, give them a break, man. They're trying to come back. Not everybody is lucky and successful at everything, okay? And they're trying to come back. And again, like Michael Arts tried saying how the original Xbox, when it launched, they had over a year in which they didn't give any prototypes or working demonstrations and whatnot. You know, when you're creating these game systems, they do like to keep it close to heart. But Atari is already saying that they actually are trying to open this up as they're designing and making this thing, which has made a lot of people not understand it, which I find surprising. You know, people like Dreamcast Guy, RGBT 185, even Review Tech USA. These guys are big YouTubers for gaming, and all of them, they sound the exact same. They're preaching parrots almost. It's like they're the same person. They can't conceive of an idea why anyone would want this, because I guess they're just so normal. And like they freaked out, specifically Dreamcast Guy and RGBT freaked out because Atari said that they're basically trolling and that they just want views and for the hating. And same with this notorious Register interview that was taken months ago, and no one talked about the interview Atari gave on June 1st and 5th, I believe it is, where they explained a hell of a lot. A lot of things that this guy from this Register interview is kind of making his name on now. That he's laughing at Atari for, saying they can't even tell me if their controller will work with a PC or other things. I mean, come on, it's ridiculous. He's insane. Well, Michael Arts actually said in this interview of June 1st, I believe it was, he said, yeah, if you just want to buy our freaking controllers, we'd love that. You know, if you don't have to buy this system, we'd love it if you do. We'd love you to be part of this community, but you don't have to. If you just want the controller to have some fun with it, great. And yes, it'll work with your PC. It's got USB stuff. So there you go. Oh my God, such a huge thing. I just those people blow my mind. They can be so infantile, and it's irresponsible. I think the most important thing, because it's irresponsible because they have such reach. I'm a nobody. I've got nothing for my YouTube reach, and I'd love to eventually have a little bit of a community or subscribers or whatever. But these guys, they got huge ones. They've got sycophants and people that see them as the gospel truth, who just regurgitate it and go on and attacking other people and online and smearing them nonstop and think they're so smart because Dreamcast Guy and RGPT and Review Tech said this. And it's like all they do is regurgitate hate. So I'm not surprised Atari is like, yeah, we don't want to engage with you guys. You guys are freaking toxic. I'm sorry. And while I don't really condone Atari's responses to specifically call people out like that, I also can kind of understand it because they are getting an immense amount of hate, undue hate, without giving them a chance. And well, here we go. They've now released information as of on the 27th, I believe it is here right now. And this is good information. Tin Giant officially joins the Atari VCS team. This is good news. They've gone to detail with it with that lovely little official press release. Atari isn't aiming for the moon with this thing. It's not a hard thing to develop, as Michael Arts in the interview was saying. He's like, well, it sounds like it's just like a level of a laptop power without a screen, but it's like there's more to it than that. And it's not going to be that difficult. They want to make something that has a unique look to it. That's why they thought just showing the chassis of what the physical thing would look like was good enough. It wasn't for the Register interviewer. And now they're just working on fine-tuning everything. I mean, it's all coming to place. They're using AMD architecture for this thing. They're not changing from that. I'm not a super tech guy on all of this crap, but it sounds fine to me. And again, you may say, oh, it's on power of the Switch, whatever. Yeah, it's on power of the Switch, but it's actually 4K HDR capable. The Switch isn't. And good luck hoping and praying Nintendo will ever get their heads out their asses to actually allow that for their system. Because I'll bet you they won't. And that'll never happen. And all the other countless crazy things Nintendo does, they keep getting away with it because of their fanatical little fan base. And one of the things I love about this press release, and I'm going to be closing this up pretty soon now, is that they specifically call out and say hello to their backers. They say here, the ATARI VCS will deliver a fully modern gaming and entertainment experience sure to delight the more than 11,000 backers who have enthusiastically supported the ATARI VCS so far. And I think that's really cool. Like that reporter sneered saying 11,000, that's not a community. Dude, really, like the community is just growing. It's just beginning. Atari has been out of the console business for a long time. We're not even console, hardware business basically for a very long time. This is their first take at it with a brand new team. Give them a little bit of a bone, man. It's gonna grow and it's not gonna be massive. It's not gonna be probably as big as Nintendo by any degree, but it's gonna have its own little thing. And yeah, the hate that everyone throws on this. Before you jump to conclusions, just go to their Indiegogo page, read this yourself if you want. Go through all the specifics of this thing. This is not a scam. I firmly believe that it's not a scam or anything like that. They finally gave some information. That's what I was waiting for, and this sounds great. Mike Ward specifically said in the interview of June 1st and 5th, Atari intends to give a drip information drop of things because they want to steadily give information to help build hype, but to also kind of hear back from people as they're finalizing designing this thing. Again, the architecture in this thing, they're not building the Xbox One X or PlayStation 5. This is not going to be, a massive gaming PC. This is relatively easy architecture from what it sounds like to fine tune and twiddle and what have you, and add things here and there. They even specifically said that, for the people that got the first wood engraved, special edition or whatever, which everyone says was limited edition. I don't think they said limited edition. It was like special edition for a limited time. They're even thinking of saying, beyond having just like the manufacture date on it, they're even thinking of possibly adding on extra little details to it because they can do that at this stage, just to make it feel more special to people who dropped down the money at the very beginning. That sounds pretty cool and pretty awesome to hear from. And again, indie games are my bag. That's what I love more than anything. And again, I've got vision problems, so voice acting is great. I'm not the richest man in the world, so the cheaper price of the system and the electricity draw it'll take out is great. And I also want to get a 4K HDR TV, and this thing is going to support it. Nintendo won't even support that, And Nintendo costs more than this. Like this costs as much or less than a Nintendo Switch. And you at least get games with the Atari VCS. You're going to get within it definitely the Atari collection of over 100 original 2600 games. That's something. You get nothing with the Switch. $400 for the Switch. You get no games. You got to pay out another $80 here in Canada for a proper game. And then a proper controller is going to cost you like $60 to $80 on top of that or whatever. And then you get SD cards and so this sounds good to me, man. I hope you've enjoyed this. I'd love to hear your comments. The Atari VCS has been getting unreal amounts of undue hate. Criticism is one thing, but if you watch these videos of people non-stop hating and saying the exact same damn thing, I'm tired of it, man. And I love that this piece of news came out finally, and we're going to get more news of it, and I'm quite happy and secure knowing that we'll be getting more information drops like this, probably monthly, which is great. We'll be finding out more details about it, which is great. And yeah, man, I think it's great. So let me know what you think. Have you been swayed to the dark side with all the hate and outrage on the Atari VCS? Do you have an open mind? Or have you even jumped forward and put money down and ordered it. I'd love to hear from you. I think this is exciting. I love getting a fourth player, so to speak, out of the big three. And I love that Atari is aiming low. They're not coming in as a pretentious, like, we're going to rule everyone. No, they're humble about this, and I like that. They're not trying to be an Xbox. They're not trying to be a Sony, by any means a Sony, with the pretentiousness of the PlayStation brand. Holy crap. No, Atari isn't going to try anything like that, and they're not as insane oftentimes as Nintendo is, and I'm happy with that, man. So this has been the Akasaurus of Reptilian Reflections, reflecting upon the Atari VCS and the news drop of today of Tin Giant and Rob Wyatt joining the team officially of the Atari VCS. And I'll see you guys in another video. So take care. Give a like and subscribe. That really helps. And I'm just beginning this YouTube adventure, so I'd love to have you on the ride. And I'll see you guys later. And come bug me on Twitter. I love being chatting on Twitter. So take care. Sayonara.